Caitlin Clark and
I'm a fan.
Angel Reese, right?
Yeah.
They're going back and
I'm a
forth.
fan of both.
And Jamil Hill says by the time Angel Reese is done, she's going to be the Michael Jordan of WNBA.
She said about Angel Reese?
She said Angel Reese, by the time she retires, can you pull up this quote? She said, by the time she retires, she will be the MJ.
Stephen A. Smith just slammed the brakes on Angel Reese's momentum, and it wasn't subtle. This wasn't some polished, scripted moment. It felt raw, unexpected, and loud enough to shake the conversation around the league. Reese made a move that had fans everywhere doing a double take. If you thought the drama ended at the final buzzer, think again. Stephen A. didn't just drop a mic. He turned the volume all the way up. So, what exactly happened? Let's get into it.
It's not about black and white. It's about that white player and that black player. Why? Because of the history that they had before they came to the WNBA. You see, it was all instigated. If Angel Reese was never in Caitlin Clark's face, taunting her the way that she did when they mimicking what Caitlin Clark was doing to numerous opponents en route to the Final Four. And then Angel Reese and LSU bust their living, you know what, at that particular moment in time. And Angel Reese was in her face chirping at her the way that she did. It would have never gotten to this point.
For points, that's the headline. Angel Reese finished with just 4, despite controlling the glass and piling up rebounds. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark was limited, yet still managed to influence the game from the sidelines. The opportunity was there, more touches, more spotlight, more responsibility, but the production just didn't match the moment.
First of all, it's not a rivalry. Not when you lose about 35 points.
That's true.
It's not rivalry. Indiana Fever's on a different level than Chicago Sky. Let's get that out the way. Secondly, as much as we love Angel Reese because she is special, she's not Caitlin Clark as a player. Caitlin Clark is on a different level. We just have to own that.
It wasn't the kind of performance that silences critics. Instead, it raised more questions. While Caitlin Clark remained part of the conversation, even off the floor, Reese struggled to convert her chances into points. For points isn't just a quiet night. It's a stat line that leaves people wondering what went wrong.
Most fans were excited to see Caitlin Clark and Indiana Fever take on Angel Reese and the Chicago Sky. The game was a blowout as the Fever beat down Chicago 93-58, with Clark's triple-double leading the way. But the biggest headline coming out of the game on Saturday is the investigation the WNBA is conducting into allegations of hateful fan comments directed at Angel Reese. It happened after this play when Clark slapped at the ball after Reese grabbed an offensive rebound.
To her credit, the rebounds were there, double digits and impactful on the boards. But without scoring to balance it out, the overall impact feels incomplete. Rebounding alone can't carry the full load, especially when the team needs offensive production. At this level, players are expected to contribute across the board, not just in one area.
Angel Reese, part 38, let's get it!
Life throws her lemons, she makes bricks. Bang! PSA to anyone watching, she is right-handed. Right-handed, by the way. She missed the rim by 3 feet, man. Bang! I gotta say, this is my favorite summer sitcom. Pecan? Butter pecan? Bang! Here's a stat. She's been blocked 20 times, and she's only made 21 hoops. What? Bang!
Even the broadcast leaned into the positives, highlighting her effort in other areas. But it was clear the performance didn't live up to expectations. The energy was there, the presence was there, but the scoring touch never showed up. And in a game where opportunity knocked loudly, that absence stood out more than anything else.
Because I was calling it from day one. You got people that are resentful towards her. But it's really not about her, guys. It's about what she represents. Before she ever came along, there were a lot of outstanding basketball players who happened to be black females that was doing their thing on the WNBA level. And they never got this kind of shit.
Angel Reese has always brought confidence and presence. Style, energy, and swagger have never been in question. But this performance didn't match that image. It felt like a missed opportunity on a big stage. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to produce even under pressure, scoring, facilitating, and making plays regardless of defensive attention. When the spotlight was wide open, Reese had the chance to take control, but the impact just wasn't there.
Elaborate a little bit more on that in just a second. But before I do that, I want to ask you your thoughts about apparently some racial animus that was thrown in the direction of Angel Reese. The Chicago Sky have gotten involved, talking about they're going to protect their players at all costs. The WNBA has issued a statement saying it abhors and discourages hate of any kind, etc., etc. Your thoughts about it? Here's the WNBA statement. The WNBA strongly condemns racism, hate, and discrimination in all forms. They have no place in our league or in society. We are aware of the allegations and are looking into the matter. Your thoughts about that element of all of this, where you believe it emanates from, and do you think it will ever subside?
That rebound-heavy stat line stands out. 12 boards show effort and activity. But rebounds alone don't define overall impact. The key is what happens after securing possession, turning those extra chances into points. On this night, the follow-through just didn't come together.
Oh, man. The latter part of that, Stephen A., is quite the thing to think on. I think when you go back to the impetus of the rivalry that we have between Caitlin and Angel Reese, I remember funny clips on the internet.
Another diabolical stat. She's 19 of 59 from less than 5 feet away. How about that, man? Bang! She should work at housekeeping for hotels because she could turn it over quickly. Lost by 27, scored only 4 points against the Indiana Fever. I mentioned no Caitlin Clark, no problem, give and go. Like a given no shot of working. Bang!
You prefer a car or plane?
Car or plane for what? For how you want to travel! That's too many steps and you can't do that. Bang!
Naturally, conversations start to build after games like this. Expectations are high, especially for a player with Reese's profile. At this level, production matters and consistency becomes the standard. It's not about comparisons or headlines. It's about delivering on the court, possession by possession.
I have yet to see a single example of Angel Reese being a leader. Outside of rebounding her own missed layups, what does Angel Reese do? What is her contribution? You tell me, because I'm not seeing it. I know I'm harsh on Angel Reese, but she considers herself a star. If you're going to call yourself a star, I expect you to perform like a star, especially in big moments. Caitlin Clark was injured. Angel Reese was the only star on the court last night, and for 27 minutes, she completely disappeared.
This season was expected to be a major step forward, a chance to prove growth and expand her game. There's still time to do that, but performances like this highlight areas that need improvement. Development isn't always linear, and how she responds next will matter more than any single game.
Caitlin Clark's or Angel Reese's popularity in large part is attributed to her behavior towards Caitlin Clark, because when Caitlin Clark was busy taunting opponents a couple of years back before LSU smacked Iowa around in the national championship game or so, it was Angel Reese that was clapping back at Caitlin Clark once it was Caitlin Clark's turn to have her come uppance. And that's what made Angel Reese famous. Now, Angel Reese experienced vitriol thereafter. It was tough for her to deal with, as she articulated.
To be fair, a lot of people were genuinely rooting for Angel Reese to succeed. She entered the league with star power, charisma, college dominance, and a built-in storyline that naturally connected her to Caitlin Clark. The hype was real, and the expectations followed. But at this level, production has to match the spotlight. Right now, the numbers simply aren't reflecting that potential. Scoring outputs like 4 points don't just feel quiet. They start to define the conversation. Fans aren't just watching highlights anymore. They're watching full games, and the gap between expectation and performance is becoming harder to ignore.
Well, there's a lot of reaction coming in from last night's drubbing, destruction, annihilation, cremation, whatever you want to call it, roasting, sauteed, whatever your form of cooking may be. But the Indiana Fever absolutely dismantled the Chicago Sky.
What makes it stand out even more is how much attention Caitlin Clark still commands, even when she's not on the floor. That's when the comparison becomes unavoidable. Clark's presence continues to shape the narrative, while Reese is still trying to find consistent offensive rhythm. Naturally, that leads to questions about role, development, and how the team moves forward. It doesn't mean the potential isn't there, but it does mean the next step is critical. Teams aren't just looking for flashes. They're looking for reliability, growth, and impact across the board.
This is only women that get this. I'm tired of it. Like, here's my thing, you guys. What else? Who are these girls? Who are these girls that are hating on Caitlin Clark? Are you just combing through Twitter? What else are these women supposed to do? Fawn over her? Fangirl over her? Bend the fucking knee? Kiss the ring? Like, what do you want from them? We cannot, every time the girl plays a game, she got 40 games, guys. She got 35 more games. We are not every single game gonna revisit and retread this same tired ass rhetoric that all these girls are hating on her, and they need to be thankful they have been.
Let's be real, at the pro level, teams are looking for production. Style, confidence, and presence matter, but they have to be backed up by results on the court. When the numbers don't follow, the conversation shifts quickly. Even analysts like Stephen A. Smith tend to focus on the same thing: output. This isn't college anymore. Every possession is earned, and every stat line gets scrutinized. Right now, Angel Reese is facing that reality as expectations meet performance.
What an outfit Angel Reese was rocking. She put a lot of time, a lot of effort into making sure her ensemble was on point. Are my boots matching my jacket? Are my gloves matching my hat? Angel Reese put in tons of time for this outfit, which begs the question, does Angel Reese put in more time in her outfits for the pregame catwalk, or does she put in more time to actually get better at the game?
The pressure only builds from here. In a league like the WNBA, minutes aren't guaranteed. They're earned through impact. Scoring, playmaking, defense, something has to consistently show up. If not, roles start to shift. Angel Reese isn't just playing games right now. She's working to solidify her place and prove her value over the long term.
Goose comes along and she wreaks havoc. She's the rookie of the year. She's 4th in the league in MVP voting. 4th in the league, her rookie year.
Wow.
Outstanding. She's like Steph Curry. She can pull up from anywhere. You understand? She has that kind of capability. Didn't win a national championship. Lost to LSU one year. We lost to South Carolina another year. But she's outstanding and clearly worthy of being the number 1 overall pick. And what I was saying to everybody is ride the wave. Rising tide lifts all boats.
At this point, it becomes less about potential and more about execution. Coaches are clearly trying to find the best way to utilize her skill set, adjusting roles and lineups to unlock consistency. But no system works without conversion, finishing plays, making shots, and capitalizing on opportunities. It's a team challenge as much as an individual one, and figuring that out is critical moving forward.
Balled at Iowa in college. She's balled since she's been in the NBA. She came into the league last year with no break whatsoever between the college game and the pro game and did her thing. Ended up as an all-star, ended up being 4th in the league in MVP voting, was the clear winner for Rookie of the Year. No competition whatsoever in that regard when it was really all said and done. We know what she brings to the table.
Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark continues to dominate the conversation, even while sidelined. That contrast naturally raises expectations across the board. When Clark returns, the spotlight will only get brighter. For Reese, that means the next stretch of games becomes even more important, not just to improve the stat line, but to shift the narrative back in her favor.
Actually feel bad for Angel Reese at this point, and it has nothing to do with like how she's handled herself or anything. It's just simply Caitlin Clark is so much better than Angel Reese at basketball that it doesn't feel fair.
Yeah, I think Angel Reese is struggling with the fact that Caitlin Clark is better at her best thing than she is.
Well, she's better at everything.
And
she had a triple-double. She's tied for the 3rd most triple-doubles in WNBA history, and she's played 50 games.
At this stage, the conversation around Angel Reese is starting to shift. Effort on the boards is clear, but overall impact has to expand beyond rebounding. Development at the pro level is about adjustment, finding ways to contribute offensively, improving efficiency, and becoming a more complete player. With Caitlin Clark expected to return and immediately make an impact, the contrast will only become more noticeable. In this league, production ultimately defines value, and right now, the numbers are driving the narrative.
Unfortunately, it comes with the crown.
I got to push back on you a little bit.
Okay.
I think you're being a little bit too PC. Let's call it what it is. I am not trying to say that she should be criticized or she is wrong. What I'm saying is by pulling it down, clearly you felt there was something wrong with it. Now, yes, you are 22. Yes, you are young. And there's a lot of things that we didn't want people to know about when we were her age. Fair enough, especially me, okay? Because I'm 30 plus years removed from that age. I got that part. There was no social media then or whatever. But here's my point to you. She knows this social media. She is not dumb.
Within a competitive roster, consistency matters, not just for results, but for team rhythm and trust. Every player is working to earn minutes, and contributions across scoring, defense, and playmaking all factor into those decisions. For organizations, it's about balancing potential with performance and making sure the on-court product matches expectations. The storyline of Caitlin Clark versus Angel Reese brought excitement into the league, but at the professional level, it has to be backed up by consistent production on both sides.
Jackie Robinson of the WNBA will be Caitlin Clark if she stays healthy. There's a group of them that would hope for her to be out. But
why do you say she's going to be the Jackie Robinson of the WNBA?
Well,
it's not like she's the first white girl.
She's not the first white girl, but she's the first white superstar at the levels where she's scoring these, you know, the threes she's shooting. She's like a Steph Curry. She's the first actual superstar that people care. When's the last time we watched like college basketball? If I told you, tell me the greatest college basketball female basketball players last 30 years, and you watch
Diana Taurasi.
I know her. She's our meat. But you look at some of these names, you see some of these people on how they do.
If the current trend continues, the focus will naturally turn toward adjustments, both individually and as a team. Growth is still possible, but it has to show up in measurable ways. Better efficiency, more offensive involvement, and a broader impact on the game. The WNBA is highly competitive, and roles evolve quickly based on performance. For Angel Reese, the path forward is clear. Translate effort into production and shift the narrative. And if you're following this storyline, drop your thoughts below. Like the video, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you don't miss what happens next.